Hello, everyone. Welcome to this definitely going to be super chill, super normal time with two friends here on a Tuesday evening. Ravon, how are you, my dear?
I am fantastic. I'm having a wonderful night. I get to play games with you. I'm so
It's
excited.
me. It's both of us together. Uh, I'm so excited. Friends, foes, potentially others to be playing this game. If you are unaware, we'll do a little bit of chatting, and then we're gonna get into character and get into serious business. Uh, this game is called Hunter Hunted. Bum. It is a game that was made by both meghanlynnftw, Megan Cross, and Superdillin. Uh, and is on Kickstarter right now. The link will be popping up in chat, but it will also be pinned at the top of chat. If you are watching this in the future, it'll be in the YouTube video, and you can go check it out and maybe keep following it when it comes out, and you can get it yourself. But before we get into the nitty gritty, the super good stuff. Little introductions. My name's Maria. This is my house. Welcome to this place. I use they and she pronouns. I stream a lot, and I'm so excited to have a terribly wonderful emotional roller coaster with you all, but especially with Ravon. Hello, friend. Please introduce yourself, a little bit of what you do on the interwebs, and how excited you are to absolutely ruin my life in a consensual way.
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Revon. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm a little gremlin on the internet. You can find me on The Mythic Bunny, or recently, slow down a little bit. You can find me also at The Mythic Library, where I do book reviews. I do snippets of my own writing because I'm an aspiring author. And if I'm not on there, I'm on Twitch sharing the fact that I am a jackalope librarian in training and I play video games to entertain you. I also raise money, do a lot of charity stuff. Last time we did raising money for Palestine Children's Relief Fund. We're probably going to do that again. But yes, I'm all over the internet. I do art. I'm a video editor. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're here.
I am here.
What is friendship if not destroying one another via games in a consensual way? Megan, you would know that. Megan is in the chat for
Hi,
anybody
Megan.
who is watching this in the future. Love you dearly. Love your games so much dearly. Or also, um, so speaking of this game is called Hunter Hunted. This is the first time either of us have played this game, by the way, because it's not out yet. It literally, the Kickstarter as of right now has less than 20 hours left, maybe closer to 15 or something like that. So you have a short amount of time to go pick it up. But we are going to be going through it together. We have both read over it, but we're going to play it as best as we can. And this is going to be our version of the game. So we'll be walking through it right alongside you. Know that we will be using our own safety tools. The two of us have played together a lot, so we do know each other. However, safety tools are always important in TTRPGs, especially ones that are going to be somewhat emotional, potentially. So know that we are doing the best we can to keep each other safe. But that goes for you as well, chat. Please take care of yourselves if you need to step away, or if you're watching this video in the future, you can pause it, rewind it when you need to, or anything like that. If it gets into places that are a little bit heavier, I don't foresee anything super trigger warning or anything like that, other than it's probably going to be very sad from my part. There is going to be mention of alcoholism as a coping mechanism, and just distraughtness. But that's all I can think of. Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head?
I'm
that
thinking of
that you know of
uh
at least?
that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. If you have a fear of water, mayhaps will also be mentioned. I have a feeling. Um, but otherwise, emotional damage.
I'm making notes so that
Making
I
it
can put them in chat for
absolutely
our wonderful viewers. Uh, emotional trauma. That's what I'll put.
yes.
All right. Uh, so without much further ado, I think we are ready to start. We are using Roll20 as our little tracker down here. I will be for the ease of everything. I have our deck of cards, which is you need a deck of cards separated into red and black. Black is for the hunter, red is for the monster. And also some way to track progress, such as with this tracker down in the bottom here. And some dice. We have a couple of dice. I have metal dice because what better to hunt something with than metal? And a desire to have an incredible story together. All right. Let me make sure that I get the content warnings going in chat so that because I don't wanna scrimp out on that for all of y'all. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. But while I'm getting this last piece set up, make sure that you go and check out the Kickstarter, everybody. That is part one of like 75 that I'm here tonight is to shout about Megan and Dylan's Kickstarter for the last little bit that it is around. So do make sure to go check it out. Even if you can't support it or for some reason do not wish to support it, that is totally fine. But tell other people. Tell people who might be interested.
So there's 13 hours as of this recording left to get the game. It's got a lot of stretch goals that they've met. It is amazing. Please definitely check it out. I've been a big fan of Superdillin and Megan's like games. They're beautiful, they're delightful, and this one is primed and ready if you really want to dig into feels and the monster side of everybody. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss indeed. Fantastic. All right. Everything has been edited. Everything has been added. Everything is here. So let's get into making our characters. I'm going to put on some definitely normal music. That's
Totally
definitely
normal.
not going to make us... Oh, the first song that came on was definitely not called These Feelings. So don't even worry about it.
Tell me more about it.
Yeah. Just tell me more. All right. So, we are going to talk about our characters. I'm going to be talking about the hunter who I am playing. And Ravon is going to be discussing their monster. We've done a little bit of deciding generally who we're going to be for the purposes of figuring out who in the heck we are. So, Ravon,
Yes.
would you like to start?
I would love to.
Incredible. Please do so.
Thank you. I'm going to be playing the monster, and the first bit is you're a monster. Who or what are you? And what do I look like? So I am Flor Ojera, and I am a creature from a very deep, dark, beautiful place. A deep, dark, haunting place. The monster that I am is a shape-shifting creature that is known to many in Latin America as La Segua. Often seen as a beautiful creature, a beautiful woman appearing to men, and ending their very unfortunate, perverse existences. Um, Les Seguin is also known to, when in the depths of their ravaging hunger, to transform into a creature with a different face. So I look like a beautiful young individual with long brown hair and beautiful emerald eyes and wearing a white dress.
Amazing. Do we want to just popcorn back and forth with the
Yeah.
questions? Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Also, y'all, I forgot. Ravon made character art for us. That I'm going to put up on the overlay in a moment. But let me tell you a little bit. For the hi Max, hello. For the hunter, you are a mighty hunter. Who are you and what do you look like? So I am Cody Kingsley. Who uses they them pronouns. Cody is haggard would be a light way of describing Cody's everyday look. They look like they're a person who has been punched down and keeps punching to get back up. And it looks like they've kind of done that for most of their life. They are a fairly tall, maybe about 6'1" or so, very slight frame, which is not made better by the fact that they don't take very good care of themselves. So they look taller because they're fairly slim. They are frequently seen with bandaged hands, knuckles specifically, as they tend to interface with the world usually with their fists before their mouth. And they have short, very short hair, side and back shaved pretty close, so that the top that is usually pretty unkempt kind of hangs a little bit close to their eyes. They have signature statement pieces, one of which is a fairly ill-fitting trench coat that they picked up at some point, and also a very large rifle, a what is it called? Something action rifle. It's old, and it looks like it's been well used, but it also looks like it was well taken care of. They're also not seen very far from a place of imbibement. Lever action. Thank you. A lever action. Very, very old. Almost always having something to drink to forget about stuff. And that's Cody. Ravon, what's your next? Tell us more about your monster.
So, my next thing is, you have made this place your home. What brought you to this place, and why did you stay? I was brought to the edge of a river, this beautiful dark river, somewhere in the edge of almost nowhere, somewhere maybe paths of villages seem to cross, places where people go to get lost. There is several miles of nothing before you do hit a village. And I feel I have stayed here where so many wandering souls have managed to meander their way by accident on purpose. Um, it is the edge of the river that I have made my home. And maybe there are ruins here where something used to lay, something ancient, something old that people used to come to see. And here I have stayed. Here I have made my home. Here I have made my entrapment. I think that's me.
I'm working to get the images onto the screen, so bear with me for 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
God, I love them so much already. I simply cannot. All right. This is our monster, everyone. As an aside, these were made by Ravon. And there's our hunter. There we are. These were made by Ravon for this game. It's great. I'm just so, I'm so tickled. They're just so lovely. I'll make sure to post art where people can see them. Megan, don't worry, you're gonna get copies of this. Excellent. The second question for the hunter. There's a reason you've come to hunt here. What is driving you to pursue your quarry? Were you hired or charged by someone else? This place is about as far away from what Cody would consider home, although home is kind of a strange concept to them, because home seems like it's a place that is familiar and warm and inviting, and there's not a lot of places like that in Cody's memory. And while, yeah, this is a job, someone might have sent them this direction to do something, there was something about this particular rumor, this particular monstrosity, this unfathomable thing that Cody just couldn't shake it. It sounded like someone who was too familiar, even though there's no way Cody would have known anyone out here. But there's this nagging thought in the back of Cody's head. One that doesn't make sense, but that they latch onto anyway, of maybe it's her. What if I want it to be her? And so they came.
I love that so much. Okay. I think next one will be me, which is, you have heard the stories told about you. What do people say about you? How much of these stories are true? Fleur has heard many stories about this wickedness sitting at the center of a river. And I feel as though she has heard many stories where it is one or the other, where finding salvation in the middle of this river, finding peace, or finding a monstrous end. I feel as though the rumors that the stories that they have heard about speak of almost making her a hand of justice, making her to be this angel or demonic entity in this river where people used to live, people used to be, and now a relic. And some of it is true. At least Taflor, she believes they are true. They believe they are a sort of justice for something that is within the river that they cannot put words to, but they feel. There is a sense of justice, and that is the truth. That they definitely believe is true.
Oh, this is gonna be rough. In like the best way possible. I'm so excited. Well, going from that, you carry a signature weapon with you. What is it, and what about it is more than it seems? Well, I described it earlier. It's an old gun. It's a big gun. And Cody's favorite way of dealing with situations, because it's the fastest way, is to meet it headlong with a fist. But that doesn't mean they aren't an excellent shot when they want to be. And this rifle, even though it's old, when Cody handles it, it is with the utmost care and assured gentleness, as if they were holding someone that they loved once. And there's a lot of very complicated emotions that are seeped into the wood of the butt of that gun, and that explode every time they fire a shot. And it's a little different these days. Jobs have gotten weird. A little weirder than I think Cody had realized they would get. And so they've had to seek very strange means of ensuring that the gun itself wouldn't break, wouldn't deteriorate by just nature having its way. And they might have made a few promises that they couldn't keep in order to do so. But when you have something so precious, you'll do anything to not let it go.
Love Cody so much.
You might not for a while. You might.
No.
You might.
I might.
Floor might not.
Floor is not going to. So, you have been hunted before. How did you survive? And why are you hunted? I have survived because of rage that came with me. I have survived because of rage, not of myself, but from others. I survived because I bore the faces of those that did not want to be seen, and when confronted, they were not capable of ending me. And so I reversed the tables. I have survived because I was relentless and I was angry. I am hunted because of those that I have taken to the depths of the river to meet what I think is justice.
You've heard stories of the monster you hunt. What do you know about your quarry? Do you believe everything you've heard about it? Cody's not one for latching onto rumors. Rumors get you in trouble, especially when they aren't true. Rumors can be very lucrative if they are true. Information is sometimes more useful than money. But knowing that they can change how they look, knowing that there's this malleableness to their nature, is something that Cody kept hearing, and is a consistency that Cody kept hearing, but is one that they don't want to believe is true. Because they've also heard that right before you are taken, they take the form of the person who you loved most. And Cody can't decide whether that would be a blessing or the worst thing that could happen to them. And yet here we are.
And here we are.
Yet here we are. So, at the beginning of this, now that you know who we are and what has gotten us here, now the hunt begins. I'll read this straight from the book. At the beginning of the hunt, both the hunter and the monster begin on even footing, as shown by the tracker in the middle. When it's time for the hunt to commence, both players begin rolling 2d6, aiming to roll doubles as quickly as possible before the other player does. This is a race. So we're gonna be rolling. While we're rolling, we can lean into the excitement and fear of not knowing if we're gonna roll doubles first or the other person. We can role play during this, although it should be simple.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, we're gonna have plenty of in-character conversations later. As soon as one of us rolls doubles, we will stop, and the token moves a space closer to the opposing player, and at that point we will do at least one scene describing what is going on based on some prompts and these cards that we have. So, and then we just do that.
Yeah.
Again and again until we get caught or we decide to end.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? I just got
ready.
so nervous. I'm so
I'm
nervous.
excited.
All right. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yes, you count because I'm just all nerves now.
3, 2, 1, go. I'm not doing great.
I'm not either. I think for Cody, it's a quiet hunt. They're very focused. I got doubles.
Okay. Perfect.
Excellent. Double fours, baby. Huh.
Oh.
Um, it might be one of those things where I think you've been hunted before, and you can tell me, of course, how you feel about it. Well, I'll pull a prompt in a second, but it's one of those. Cody is used to feeling like the predator. And no one's successfully hunted you before. But I feel like this might be the closest someone has gotten.
It is. And it is terrifying to have someone that close.
So, I'm going to draw from my deck. And there's some wonderful examples in this book about different kinds of scenes that you can have. It's very, very open to how you want to have it, if you want to include the other player, or if you want it to be more solo, more introspective, more of a snapshot of something that's happening, a flashback, anything like that. But let me make sure I get down to where my prompts are. All right, my first card is the 3 of Clubs. How is this hunt different from ones that have come before? During this first push, Cody's in this mindset that they are when they're on a job like this, because it's just a job. They're in the same kind of mindset, but there's this inner monologue of, damn, it's muddy here, and I probably should have brought boots, and God, it sure would be easier to be more quiet if it wasn't so goddamn twigs and sticks, and it's not like the city, that's for sure. And they get like a little bit lost in the weeds, literally, but also in their head, just for a brief second, just remembering this is so different from where they're from, until their quarry is in their sights again, and all that goes away. Their feet are soaked in puddles, in collections of water. There's sticks where there shouldn't be, but they're focused, and they're not going to lose. And then we go again.
Yes.
For us and for the viewers, at any time, this could be as short as 15 minutes. This could be a while. If we decide that it ends,
I got doubles.
hell yes. And if we decide that it ends too quickly, we can narratively make it make sense to continue going.
Yes.
Okay.
Double fours, baby.
Excellent. Oh, that's what I rolled.
Nice.
Okay, fantastic. So we have a couple additional questions to answer. If the player that had previously had the upper hand in the hunt but lost it during the most recent round, that's me. Because we're back in the middle.
You are.
Back on equal footing. How How has the fight progressed? Since I lost the upper hand, what keeps you from giving up? And because you gain the upper hand, what gives you a moment of pause?
What gives me a moment of pause?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like in this moment, I know you've seen me. I can feel that prickle on the back of my neck, that sudden sensation of being watched. It's not the first time I've had that sensation. In fact, it's quite familiar. It's something that I strive for when I am on the hunt. But this is entirely different. This does not feel like it should. This is a hunt that I am thinking I'm going to lose. And I am this visage in the distance, in the river, of a woman with her back turned and her white dress stained at the bottom with mud and flecks of grass and sticks. And I think that's what gives me pause. You have snuck up so close to me. You have gotten so much closer than I expected. And I don't turn to look at you. Not yet. There is a moment of pause where I instead make to fall back into the water and lure you closer.
Sensing more than seeing that this is not going to be simple. And being wary of something that I only thought, assumed I understood. I pause behind a tree or a bush or some large rock. I stop and I wait. That's not in my nature. I don't wait. Because if I wait, they can leave. They can get away. And then what was the point of all of this? But I wait anyway. And I don't know why.
What's my card?
Ace of Hearts.
Ooh, boy. Ace of Hearts. What about this hunter is different from those who have hunted you before? When I emerge again, and I do so in a way that is similar to that of a predator in the water, you don't see me, I don't think. Not at this moment. This is a brief moment of I am looking at the face of the one that wants to end this. And I am observing someone who is waiting. Someone who is waiting for something. And in all of my hunts, there has always been a rush. Whether I'm hunting or being hunted, there has been a rush, a sudden need to finish, to end this quickly, to have this be a blip, a chapter quickly finished. And I have felt that rage of wanting to be, of being dismissed so quickly. And this one time, someone is waiting for me, for more, for something in the river. This hunter is different because they wait. And it is not for... I don't see it as a way of salivating the meal, of enjoying what is a determined victory. This is, we are on level playing grounds, and we are waiting for each other. This is a dance, and we are still learning the steps.
Well, then let's dance. Let's dance, baby. Let's go.
I dropped my dice.
Oh, God.
Doubles.
Oh, shit.
I got double 3.
Oh, God. There's definitely an understanding as we transition that, from Cody at least, that there is something different. That maybe they should have paid attention a little bit more to those rumors. Have a 3 of hearts.
3 of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful. Something about this hunter reminds you of the first hunter who came for you. What is it? Oh, what a good question. The first one was hesitant. The first one was unsure. The first one was full of pause and a demeanor that was not made to be a hunter, but they came to hunt me anyways. This was someone that was waiting too. But their waiting was out of fear. I have a cat who is intruding. Give me 1 second.
This cat isn't waiting out of fear. Let me tell you.
Oh, yes, 100%.
She is here and present.
She said, "Father, I would like attention." So this first hunter is one that I admittedly played with. I prolonged this one. And he wasn't sure of the next steps as well. There's that familiarity, but there's a familiarity, and it reminds me of the first, because here we are once again doing a dance, but it's not, this is going to play out differently. This is like the first and reminds me of maybe the last. There's that sensation, this odd realization that if something reminds you of the first, it could also possibly be the last. Just a circle finding the end of itself over and over. And I think in this moment that Floor exits the river to slink amongst the mud and the weed and to watch. She is trying to find an opening, a way to approach without being seen. Because if she's remembered the first, they looked forward, not behind. I think that's where I'm gonna go.
Uh-oh. Damn, my weakness. The inability to see behind me. Oh, God. Yep. This is fine. For those who are watching or listening, the hunt can end, if we so choose, when the marker moves completely off the track. So if Floor succeeds 2 more times in a row, the hunter is caught. Or not. Or we can keep going.
Let's cross our fingers.
Let's cross our fingers. Let's go.
I think Floor
Doubles.
is now getting... Oh. Okay.
No, continue. Keep your thought.
Floor is getting excited, and I think that's it. That's what the doubles causes. For her to slip up they overestimate themselves.
Hmm. The There is a moment of surprise that Cody feels when they're snuck up on. Because they told themselves that wouldn't happen again. And yet here they are, and it's happening again. And as they rush away and they find better ground and better cover with more vantage points, more view, better. You have to be better. That's what she always said. You have to be better than this. And they grip their gun tighter in their hands as they try to line up some kind of shot. Four of spades. Okay. That's what we got, baby. Okay. You find the monster's den. Isn't that the middle of the river?
It is the middle of the river.
Why am I there?
Oh, however, I did mention there was another abode that they also use.
Oh, fantastic.
Of ruins.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. You find the monster's den. What do you find there that shocks you? There is in this reshuffling, I think Cody finds a place in these ruins and is maybe has gotten off a few shots, but none of them have done anything worthy of anything. And they're in a corner, wedged in between two parts of a very broken building, two walls, and they look around to make sure they're not getting taken off guard again, taken advantage of again, and they see something that isn't there. I mean, it couldn't be there. To anyone else, there's maybe it's a strange reflection on a rock or a literal trick of the light. Cody's used to ghosts. Cody's literally had to deal with ghosts before in some ways, but they see a mirror. And it's not the mirror that strikes them as odd, although it does for a moment, because they see themselves, and it's a fairly large mirror, maybe left over from these ruins, maybe brought here by this creature. It's hard to say, but Cody is tall, and this mirror is taller than they are. And again, it's not the mirror that stops them. It's what's in the mirror, because it doesn't make sense. They see themselves hunched, readied, like a tiger waiting to pounce. But they don't see a gun in their hands. They see a person kneeling in front of them, waiting and ready to strike alongside them. And this person is being held like Cody is holding this gun with firm but gentle hands. And she has long black hair that was always kept free when it needed to be. And it always needed to be. And she wears very finely tailored military garb of an officer. Someone who has station, someone who has position, responsibilities. And Cody doesn't know what to do with what they see in this mirror, because the last time they saw her, she was the one. She tricked me. Though it was her fault. She sold me out. We were going to do this together, and I was locked up for years. She can't be here. And as soon as Cody looks away to their hands, to reality, to what's here and what's real, they see a gun. The same one that they stole. The same one that they took from her apartment the last time they saw her. And they look back towards the mirror, and there's nothing there anymore. Maybe there never was. You thought we were just hunting monsters, baby. No. We're hunting our demons, too.
Like a sprinkling. I have a question because I have lost the upper hand.
Yes.
Yes, I have. What keeps you from giving up? I have said I am relentless. And I am. I see them falter. And then they are in my abode, my home away from home. And I know what's in there. I know what's mine. They carelessly are moving through my home, my area, my river, my place, my jurisdiction. And it fills me with a rage. And yes, there have been bullets grazing past me. There have been bullets grazing my hair. And I can feel that the hunt is only just beginning. This rage pushes me forward.
I'm gonna cry in the best way possible.
Get ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
I thought I got it immediately, and I didn't. Doubles. 2 6s, baby. I'm just gonna draw a card. I think it's getting serious now.
A tension in the air that is palpable.
It's a king of clubs. The king. Long live the king? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. What is it?
What are you most afraid of? There's a flashback as Cody is running through these ruins, occasionally slipping, and they are soaked now. But they don't seem to let it slow them down. And they post up and they get a shot. They line it up and it's perfect. And there's a flash. And Cody would never say they're scared of anything. And most of it, they mostly believe it. And there's a flash to a warehouse. And it's almost as if someone had taken a picture and everything is frozen and we're just walking through it. And Cody is standing in front of a table, a large table in the middle of this mostly empty warehouse that is covered in secrets, in papers, in maps, in everything that they had been working for. And Suki was supposed to be here. They were supposed to be here. And this snapshot of time is the large lights in the warehouse turning on with Cody alone in the middle. And on the upper levels, it is lined with guns and people pointing those guns directly towards Cody, clad in pristine uniforms, identical uniforms, one of foot soldiers, maybe. And you can see now that Cody is wearing one that's very similar. It's not as finely kept, but just as identical. And in mid-motion, walking down the stairs, is an exceptionally high-ranking officer looking smug as he walks down. And behind him, with a neutral expression, is Suki. And it's not this moment that Cody is the most afraid of. Cody is afraid that anybody that they get close to again is only going to betray them in the end. And Cody is afraid to get close. But Cody is much more afraid to be alone. And yet here they are. But they're not alone, because they've got you.
For how long? We'll see.
Huppada! Okay, let's go.
Is Cody distracted? Doubles.
Shit. A little bit. There's this warring, and I think that's there's this war inside of them now of this is more than just, this isn't an animal. They're not hunting an animal. They're not hunting some mindless beast. This is something that knows what it's doing, that knows what Cody's doing, and it's kind of the first time in a while that there's this exhilaration almost of maybe we don't have to maybe we can just do this for a while. And maybe it doesn't have to end a certain way. And I think there's a couple of moments where Coda could take a shot. You slip up or something, and they don't. And there's like the tiniest flicker of a smirk when they make the choice to not shoot. As if maybe they're starting to enjoy it a little bit. Just a little bit. Until they're gracefully checked multiple times, I'm sure.
And that's what gives Floor pause. It is the smirk. That is the first time the Floor has ever seen a hunter enjoy this. Everything else has been rushed. Everything else has been pushed. Everything else has been, I need this thing. Me dead. But the smirk, it stills the rage for just a moment. It stills it enough that she pauses. They do not understand the sudden joy in this. And there is a moment where there is hope that for the first time, a hunter is seeing them for more than just a creature. And they aren't sure if they are afraid or not. The 8 of Diamonds.
The 8 of Diamonds.
You were not always alone here. What about the hunter reminds you of someone you once shared this place with? Ah,
Oh boy.
that's right, I was not always alone. I was not the only creature here. But most importantly, I was not the only species here. There was a woman who stayed here in the ruins. And she taught me many things. She taught me about the men in the village. She taught me about the people and their words and their anger and their judgment. She taught me about rage. And that is how I came to be here in this river. I have passed through many rivers before, but she was the only one that enjoyed my presence, that let me be, that was the only one to see me as more than just a creature and gave me the name Floor. When I look at Cody and I see a smirk, when I see an equal footing, there is a moment where I see someone else, where I see the woman that gave me my name. And I am reminded of things more than just rage. I am reminded of things more than just within the deep river, of the villages and of the people. And though she may have taught me rage, there was something else. But then I remember it was also a hunter who took her from me. And it is an awful thing to look at the face of a hunter and be reminded of something that I love. And I think it's at this point my face begins to shift. There is a moment of smoke, a moment of something burning, but there is no scent of it. You are looking down the barrel of your rifle, and my face begins to melt. It shifts and elongates. And you are looking into the eyes of a creature with a skull of a horse and with eyes that are red and glowing, and we stare each other down.
The smirk leaves very quickly. I'm so scared. Okay.
Ready?
Almost 2 seconds. All right.
I believe you.
I have dice in my hand. I'm ready.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Great. Let's go. Doubles. It was gonna happen eventually.
I love it.
I think this is immediate. Well, we get some extra questions, but
Yes.
the smirk drops and the gun fires. And it's obviously not enough to do what needs to be done, but it's also there's still something, even though the face is very different and is monstrous, quantifiably so by some, that Cody fired out of habit, out of muscle memory, more so than a deep desire to cause harm in this moment. And so a shot that would have any other potential person been lethal or more lethal misses its mark as Cody pulls back just a little bit without realizing it.
What gives me pause?
What keeps you from giving up?
Oh, what keeps me from giving up? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that I will let this end with me. And that is the thought that drives me. I see in Cody that pause, that moment of the weapon misses. And you have been doing this entire hunt. You're not filled with rage. You're not filled with a hope to finish me. What are you here for? What are you really here for? What were you hoping to see? You were not the first to come looking, but you were the first to have questions, or maybe searching for something. Why else are you making this take so long? I want to know. And that's what keeps me going.
Oof, All right. 7 spades. Oh, great. This is something that we are going to do it together. Seen together, finally. God.
Yes.
You and the monster circle each other for what seems like hours, neither of you making the first move. What holds you back from attacking them? I think there is a moment where maybe we're both out of breath. Just a pause. And from... Do you think we're still in the ruins? Do you think we left? Are the ruins big enough for that? Or is it just a single structure? Or is it a village?
I think it makes sense for it to have been a village.
Okay.
So I think we are there, but near the edge of the water.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Cody's found the tiniest bit of a second story somewhere, enough to get out of the water, whatever water is nearby, to have a vantage point. When you have range, you go higher so that you can see farther. But they can't see you. And they know you're there. They know where you were. And so you just hear from one of the buildings nearby. It's a little hard to make out which one. So is this a game to you? Are you liking this? I assume you
Th-
can talk.
There is silence for a moment. And I hear your words, and I consider them for a moment. And the voice that responds is not a singular voice. And when I speak, it sounds as if the place is surrounded by filled with soft voices. And they're not just voices of women, but also men, but also more. And I speak and I say, my life is no game. Why are you here?
I heard that you're a dispenser of justice in these parts. What makes you so sure that you're the one who needs to be doing that? How do you know who needs justice or not? What gives you that right?
There is tremble in the water. I don't step out, but I am near the water enough to see the ripples in the river. But I am not the only ripple in the river. There are several. There is movement under the water that you cannot make out. And it almost looks for a moment, a flicker of a moment, as if there are faces. Several faces under the water. And as I respond, it's almost as if the faces under the water move. Because they tell me. Because I have heard them. Because I can speak to things that you could never see. Have you been wronged? You look like a person wronged. You look like a person who enjoys this too much.
There's not a response. There's no sound. But they stand, their gun raised, but not pointing at anything, readied. And they scan near where that voice, your voice, voices were. Do they see you?
They see movement, a dress, as it ducks behind a building. The ruins of one.
Yeah, I've had my share of misfortunes. Recent ones are ones that I put on myself, sure. If you think that you are so powerful with your mighty ocean behind you to dictate and to decide who gets to be condemned or not, it does not make you better than any man or human out here. You are no different. You have power, and you've got people behind you. And so you get to make the call, because of course you do. Gods forbid you're ever wrong, and they're just going to shoot where they think they see you.
There is a tremble in the water. There is no words of response, but there is a tremble in the water that grows like a shaking of an earthquake, and the river begins to scream. The shot rings out, and you hit something. Something splashes into the water. You have injured me. The river screams in response. There are voices, there are faces, and there are hands that reach out, and they are splashing. Ready?
My stomach just dropped into the floor. But yeah. Let's go!
Let's go.
Doubles.
Oh boy, this is great.
This is very good. Okay. Oofa doofa doofa doofa. Okay. Hydrate, everybody. Make sure you drink water, but like in like good ways.
Yes. Not falling into a river where there are people screaming.
Yeah, don't drink the screaming water. If the water is screaming at you, please stop. With that shot, Cody sees that you can be hurt. And there's now this indignant rage inside of them, as you are just a figment now of everything that they hate. It's past, no, you're more human now. And that's what makes it easier. 6 of clubs. What do you stand to lose if you turn from the hunt? Let me start that over and read with slower words. What do you stand to lose if you return from the hunt unsuccessful? If I go back. If I go back from this. No, there's no going back from this. What's there to go back to? That's why I came out here. There's nothing there. There's nothing for me there. So, if I miss, if I don't succeed at whatever this feeble plight is that I'm trying to do, what am I even trying to do? I mean, they were right. I don't... Am I really here for them? I mean, I have to be, right? That's the only reason to be here. But if I don't finish this, then it doesn't have to stop, and I don't have to stop, and I don't have to think, and I don't have to be anything except for this. I don't have to hear anything except for this. And I don't have to be anyone except for this. And when it's done, because I will finish this, I'll just go on to the next one. And I'll keep going until... Well, I guess at some point somebody's gonna get sent for me, because at some point I'm sure I turn into a monster that I'm hunting. And I don't know, maybe I'm already there.
You have to know.
You got it
Ready.
now. You got it now. I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Doubles.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, because I also just rolled doubles. So hang on. There's something for that.
Yes.
Hold on. If doubles are rolled
this
at this
game is amazing.
Because this game is incredible and is on Kickstarter as of right now. Those of you who are watching it live, or if you're watching it in the future, you can still check out the Kickstarter and follow along so that you know when you can purchase it.
And also have emotional feelings like this.
Yeah. If doubles are rolled at the same time, you each had a chance to grab the upper hand and fumbled, arriving at a momentary standstill. How did it happen, and what is this moment like for each of you? So what happens? I want whatever happens, I feel like it would be very good for it to be a moment where we are physically very close to each other.
I have an idea.
I love your ideas. That's why you're here.
Thank you. There is a spot in the river where there is a plateau of something sunken, something stable, something just enough where I've fallen. And you are so close, maybe. There I am, a lump, some twisted, gnarled thing in the water, with a white dress now soaked to the bone. And quite literally to the bone, because underneath there is no flesh. I am an amalgamation of bones. I am an amalgamation of several things the river has fed me. Except when I turn to you, you see someone you do not want to see. You see someone that you have been seeking and that I have known for some time. When I turn to look at you, the visage is like a ripple. In fabric, in time and space, I fold in and then out, and you see her. Who is it that you see before you strike me down, or try to?
Approaching or seeing that there is just this pile of a thing, a living thing, Cody slings the gun across their back and senses an opportunity and rushes forward with energy they didn't realize they had still. They see an opportunity maybe, and they get close. And as they join you on this plateau and you start to change, they rush faster instead of waiting, because waiting got them here. And now they want to end it. They want it so badly. And they get close as you change. And it starts with just a waterfall of black hair that appears from this ripple. And that is enough to give them pause, to slow their gates, because they know what's happening. They heard that this would happen. And it does not hurt less or surprise them less, knowing that they are going to see the person they don't want to see. They don't want to see Suki. They don't want to see her, because if they see her, they have to admit that all of it was fake, that none of it was real, that if some of it was real, then it's even worse of a betrayal. And so they see Suki. They see her in front of them, and they slow, but they do not stop. As their fist goes forward, it does not stop. It is not stayed. It grows in momentum. As there is anger behind the fist, but in their eyes you can see deep pain. Insurmountable sorrow and grief that has not had anywhere to go and has not done any semblance of healing. It's sitting and it's rotting like oh so many bodies at the bottom of a riverbed. And it might hurt. Cody wants it to hurt. Cody knows it hurts them. Their hands do not feel good, but they cannot stop. How do you make them stop? How do you get away?
I don't. I look at Cody with a face they dread. I close my eyes and smile and let them hit me. And when they do, I fall back into the river, and I let her face join the many faces that begin to surface up into the river. And there are countless men and women and more. And I am still smiling as I begin to drift away and out of your reach. Your move is the voices that come forward.
Okay, we'll see what move happens. Oh my god.
So excited. Ready?
Yes! Ah!
I got doubles.
Shit. I was so close.
I got two twos.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Your move. And Cody does not move. And that's probably not the best thing. They're in the water. They know that that's your thing is water. You've proven that your thing is water. But they touched you. They could feel you. You are not just water. You are not just a figment. And that spurs Cody on despite whatever is about to happen. Despite you flawlessly moving away, effortlessly. All they need to do is hate you. If they do that enough, you're gone. Like all of their other problems.
I believe that one's what gives me pause.
Yeah.
What gave me pause was that you went and hit me anyway. I gave you what you were looking for. That grief. That grief is so familiar. That grief is tangible in every single part of my bones. That grief is in my water. That rage is in the mud. I have felt the same in every single one that has ended up in my river. That's what gives me pause. And for a moment, I wonder if you should be here with me. What's my card?
Hiya. Go off, Queen. Queen of Diamonds.
Okay. You know you could easily dispatch the hunter and end their hunt. What keeps you from doing that? We have been at this for hours. The sun is beginning to set. But the light doesn't get to touch here. There are too many shadows. There are too many things. And I haven't delivered my punishment because I don't know where you belong. In the river with me or free to go. You are the one that has been wronged. I see it in your grief, in your rage, in the way you throw punches, in the way you've tried to hit me. The mutual understanding of that I am more than a creature is past us. I could end you here. All I have to do was bring up the bones of those that feel the same as you and take you with me into the water to show you what is beneath the surface. I just don't know if you're meant to be here just yet. I just haven't decided. You remind me so much of her. So I give you space. I let you make a decision. You can leave my water, or you can go after me.
Oh boy. Well, Yes. Doubles. Got those twos, baby.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Back at it again. Here we go again. Oh boy, okay. This is the fight that never ends. Maybe that's what Cody wants. Who knows?
Who knows?
Cody gets out of the water. The fight progresses because Cody thinks smart. Cody thinks. And that's important. And the echo of your move is still in their head. And they fall back. They fall back to let some of those heavy things pass over them. They let their coat fall off, and they don't drop it anywhere where it can get wet necessarily, but they put it away. They move it. They take it off because it's their move and they need it to be serious now. And as they roll up their sleeves and they reposition their gun, they breathe like they have before. God, they wish they had whiskey. But they pause enough because they know they can't think too long, because thinking can also be bad. But they focus. They have to. And so they pause.
Pardon?
And so they pause.
What keeps me going? You've made a decision. And I see you. It feels like the ending of a dance, but I don't want it to end. I'm not finished yet. I haven't been finished yet. I don't have all my answers. I come out of the water. I feel ready.
Five of spades.
Okay.
When you consider abandoning your hunt, whose words echo in your mind? And what do they say? The last words that were ever spoken between Cody Kingsley and Suki were in an apartment. What feels like ages ago. And Cody had meant to sneak in, grab a couple of their things, maybe a few mementos, but nostalgia maybe drove them there after they had returned to society. But when they went to leave and Suki was there, as if expecting them, and was not broken on the outside as Cody had been battered and broken literally and not. And they asked Cody, what were they doing here? As if they didn't know. And they didn't care, or didn't seem to care, when Cody became emotional, became soft, pleading, trying to get her to understand what she did, trying to understand why she did it. And the last thing that Cody heard was a soft scoff. You're better than this, Cody. And when they want to give up, because they're tired. They were tired before they got here. They are tired now. And if they leave, they'll still be tired. But it's not to prove that voice right. Because Cody knows that they are not better than this. This is not beneath them. This is to prove a different voice right. One that had been creeping in the corners like a caged animal, just waiting for its opportunity to come out. You can be the monster too. And so they stay. And that's the one they listen to. Because why be better than an apex predator? I can only be so serious because I love you so much, and this is wonderful, and it sucks, and I love it.
I love it so much.
Welcome to every one of Megan's games. This one has a super spicy Superdillin spice to it also. This is just really good.
Beautiful. It's the best. I'm enjoying it so much. Okay, ready?
Yeah! Hiya! Doubles.
This is it.
Okay. God. Of course this happens immediately when Cody's like, all right,
I'll be the monster.
I'll be the monster then. Oops. When the token has been moved off the tracker, either the hunter or the monster has caught their adversary and now has the power to end the hunt and possibly their adversary's life. To determine how the story ends, the player who ends the game with the upper hand gains narrative control, effectively the GM of the final scene. The other player is encouraged to roleplay, ask questions to further the narrative, and offer input on this last scene, but the final outcome is left to the hands of the GM. Will you kill your opponent, find common ground, flee? Maybe something else. Who knows? This has gone from early morning. It has gone through the night. And the sun is just barely starting to make an appearance on the horizon. There's that tiny bit of change where the silhouettes of things become a little bit crisper because the sky is brightening. And we are not by the river. We are not by the ruins. And I think this is why it finally ends, because we are in a more familiar place to Cody. It is rocky. Maybe it's some a foothill maybe that was here, has been here for a while. It's just gotten not enough rain, is a little bit drier. And for the first time, you are cornered. You've never been cornered before. What does it look like when Floor is literally nowhere to go with a rifle 6 inches from their face? What do they do?
When this started, this was their dance. This was their masterpiece. This was an echo of voices finding someone who felt rage and grief and sorrow beyond the depths of their river, and being pulled from it, being taunted and chased and cornered away from their river. They are alone. They are so alone. And making the trek from the river to this foothill, to this place, they have lost both physical and mental. There are pieces of bones strewn behind them in the simple attempt to flee or get close. Flee or get close. They are in shambles. And when they find themselves cornered, with the sun beginning to rise, feeling so desperately unknown, feeling that roiling of anger and grief that they could have had, that they have, that they know that Cody has, there is a look of resignation, and then an understanding. Of course, it would be someone so much like them that would end them. They stare down the barrel for a moment. And a singular voice comes out of them. You are like me. And instead of facing them, Floor turns. Floor turns to look over the foothill, and over the forests, and over the winding paths to see the villages. and I will always be here. They close their eyes.
Floor hears the sound of dried plants and rock and feels the warm metal of the end of the barrels pressed against the base of a spine. And they can feel that it's shaking. Here at the end of it, and Cody knows something has to end here. Something has to stop. This has to stop. And they are torn. They are frozen in this time, and we see that there are 3 paths that they could walk. And we see 3 futures that could be. We see their roles reversed, where Cody is the one at the end of another hunter's scope, resigned to their fate. We see an outcome of Floor alone here, and Cody alone somewhere else. And we see this moment, frozen in time, of a person who thought they were better at being a monster. Recognizing someone who was called a monster being better at being human. And you feel and maybe tense slightly as the gun moves. And it moves away. And you hear it clatter to the ground. And you hear the sound of a body falling to the ground. Or at least to their knees. And something has to end. This hunt has to end. Because all things must end at some point. But the monster, the caged thoughts, that was the monster that Cody needed to hunt. That is the monster that Cody decided to kill today. The idea that they needed to be better by becoming something worse. And so as Cody, defenseless, on their knees, head down, is overcome by this grief and this sadness and letting this monster out that had been harming them for so long. They let out a monstrous scream that echoes in this empty, empty landscape that ripples on a river that is nearby, and that is felt in every bone that had ever laid here. Because it is the same chorus that everyone who has ever been taken or brought has sung. And so you feel it deep inside of you, in every part of you, in every part of you that makes you who and what you are. And some call it a monster, because some don't have the patience to understand that a monster is just what you make of it. What becomes of Floor and Cody?
Something changes with them. It is so very rare, a once-in-a-lifetime thing, to see someone and see yourself and all your faces reflected. It changes them to know that there is someone still living who feels exactly the same. Someone who was brought out to bring out justice to them when they had felt for so long that they were doing the justice. Floor cannot return to the river. Floor feels that something inside of them, from the shout, from the feeling of someone else, from looking into a mirror, there are so many griefs and pains and sorrows that Floor has experienced. But Cody is human. And I think what ends up with Floor not being able to return to the river, feeling as though she cannot face others that she is laid there, that they have laid there. This hunt has reminded them that there is more that they could do, that there is more beyond this river, that Cody is just like the one that gave them their name. Floor leaves the river in shambles, in pieces, to find a way to restore themselves and to feel a little bit more human.
A piece of Cody never leaves the river. And they find themselves back without really realizing it, more often than they thought. In passing, we'll stop by. Sometimes we'll see a mirror. Sometimes see an extra ripple. They'd never been one to say they're a nature person. They prefer the seeming safety of city life. But there's something freeing about seeing the movement of water unimpeded by human constructs and expectations. And they keep coming back. And at some point, they realize it's because they don't feel alone here. And that whether or not Floor, who they never really got to know, was right in their justice, Cody recognizes that they had something to protect. And so, one day, years later, there's one less ruin in that once lifeless little town. Because this place is a place that no one really remembers, that no one really goes to, that almost no one lives in anymore. But there's at least one person who will not let it be forgotten, and will keep it and cherish it. And maybe there will be rumors that start of a monster who lives by the river, and people will start disappearing who try to cause harm to others. And maybe justice will be reinstated with a few more bullet holes than before. But sometimes rumors are just rumors. And sometimes humans can be monsters. And sometimes you don't have to listen to either of those. And I think that's it. And I think we did it.
We did do it.
How we doing? How we doing, everybody?
How are we?
Hey, who are we?
Hello?
Hello? Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Did I take my jacket off because I was hot or because the story dictated it? The answer might surprise you to be yes for both.
Yes. Roll into it. Yes.
Wow. What? Megan did this. Dylan did this. They did this, and then we did it.
And then we
What
did
a
it.
game. What a game. Boy. Whew. Wow. 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 Megan, thank you
the
for
game.
sharing it. This is
Yes.
astounding. I've played a lot of Megan's games, some of which are on the very same YouTube channel that this will be on eventually. And of course, this one has extra Dylan flavored kernels to it.
So
But
good.
the universal thing that I have experienced with every single one of Megan's games that I have played so far is that it never ceases to amaze me how deeply I feel playing a game that Megan has had a hand in. Every single time. And a lot of the games are solo games, so I do it to myself. But the experiences that I at least am able to have are only available because of the vehicle that I was given. And this game showcased that 100 times over. Like, oh boy, there's so many prompts we did not see, y'all. There's so much in this game. This game could have been over in 5 minutes, and we played for 2 hours. Wow. Any thoughts? Hello, Ravon. Hello, we're
Hi.
here. Hi.
Hello, we're here. I have so many thoughts. Let it be known that I've seen a lot of Megan's games, never had the chance to play them, and I am so grateful and so honored that I got to play with one of my favorite games, and that we got to play this together, but also that we got to experience a lot at Megan's games. I I'm going to get as many of them as possible. I think everyone else should. But this game was beautiful, was transcendent, was right in the feels, which is exactly what sometimes you just need. Sometimes you need to be a monster, and sometimes you need to be a hunter, and sometimes you need to do that with your friends. It was beautifully written. There were so many things that could have happened. It is so open and so beautiful, and it's so you can do so much with this game. And I am glad that we got to take this journey, and this vehicle went into a river.
It went straight into the river in like the best way possible. Ugh. And it didn't come
Love
out.
it.
It did come out. It came out and turned into a good, sad story.
Yes.
I think it's funny that in the promo for this, I said this story doesn't have a happy ending, and it technically doesn't.
Technically, no.
It's not. I don't know about you. I don't feel happy. I feel good. I don't feel happy.
I feel something deep in my bones.
I feel something that could either be hunger or emotions. And I don't know which one it is right now. And that's okay, because it can be both.
It could be both. I have a lot of feelings about Cody and his ending.
I have a lot of endings. It's just it was not it was not what I was expecting. I was fully anticipating Cody to go full monster.
Mm-hmm.
Until they came face to face with the realization, thank you for the hydrate, that if we're the same, and in this moment you are better for it, if you're claiming to be the same as me, oh no, what does that make me? And my God, having to do I I did 3 cutaways because I was like, I don't know what I'm I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the call is. I don't know what I want to do. This is everything.
The roll of the dice.
It's just so good. And this was a great story. This is great art, by the way. Incredible. It's so good. So good. And this is gonna be in here for a while. This is the end of like Cody's, I think, story. I've played Cody once before in an offline game, which is where a lot of this comes from, is like from experiences and backstory from that. And Cody's not alone anymore. I don't know if they're better, but they're not
alone.
They're not alone.
I love the way that you illustrated it at the very end. I love that way you tied it all together. And I love that there were themes that we got to keep pushing back to, going,
See? Yeah, I think we could probably talk about this for forever.
Yes. Forever and a day.
So instead of doing that, why don't you talk about yourself a little bit, and we'll kind of remind people that we're not an incredible mythical creature and a person with a big gun and terrible, deep trauma in this particular way.
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Prevon. My pronouns are he, Faye. Tonight I was the hunted. I was your monster that did not end entirely and is off to go be something maybe a little bit more. I am usually found on the internet under the Mythic Bunny, Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, other platforms, and I am an artist, an illustrator, an inspiring author, and a TTRPG performer. When I am not doing this and having so many feels, I am playing as a jackalope librarian that plays games to entertain you. And you will find me more often doing book reviews and other things at The Mythic Library, my other handle. I do so many things, and I appreciate y'all for being here. That's me.
An incredible, wonderful, fantastic human being. They're
Thank
fantastic, and I love you so much. I'm so glad that we got to do this together.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And of course, I'm Maria Barista, on the internet these days, everywhere. But primarily here on Twitch, where sometimes I do TTRPG stuff like this. A lot of times it's solo RPGs. But most of the time it's video games, and sometimes it's cozy. And remember, if you enjoyed this game, you'll love every single one of Megan's games. So go find all of Megan's games on itch.io or on her Ko-fi. The Kickstarter for this, as a reminder, at the time of this recording, it is ending Wednesday, August 14th, sometime in the afternoon that I don't remember, but very, very soon. So if you want to support the Kickstarter, support the people who made it, support the people who helped illustrate it, and all of the things and bits and bobs that go into making something this cool, you can do so on the Kickstarter. You can, if the Kickstarter's passed, follow for updates and everything. Or just buy a bunch of Megan and Dylan stuff. Just like do that. That's a cool thing to do too.
That's an awesome idea.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But regardless, everyone, thank you for sharing this story with us. Take care of yourself. Take care of others who are around you. And do your best to not be the monster that everyone says you should be or could be. Because you always have an opportunity to prove them wrong. Good night, everybody.